missed you all very much. I think you've probably not missed hearing my voice or seeing my face, but I hope you're having a relaxing summer. I hope you're having time with your family and friends to do what you need to do to recharge and regenerate after a very trying end of the school year. As you can see, I'm sitting on my deck outside enjoying the warm weather myself, but felt that we need to give you an update on what we know is happening. Right now, the task force subgroups have been meeting. The full task force will meet again on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Important, on Monday at 5:30, the school board will have a work session specifically on updates from the subgroups. So that will be something to tune in and watch if you have a moment. 5:30 on channel 99 in Nashua. And if you're not in Nashua, you'll be able to stream it live on through the district website. So those updates should be important. I have been getting many updates, many emails from people asking questions. And the questions range from, can I retire early? What if I don't feel safe going back? What if we open but my kid's school doesn't open? What if my kid's school open but mine doesn't? And those are just barely scratching the surface of the emails and questions that I am getting. And right now, I'm going to use my favorite answer, which I hate using because it's not enough, but I don't know. Right now, we're dealing with so many variables and so many unanswered questions and no idea what direction we're going yet that I don't have answers to those. But I can tell you that I have read every email. I have every question that's been asked, and my job with the executive board will be to make sure we can answer those questions as best we can. We unfortunately seem to have to wait to see what the task force is going to recommend to the school board and to the superintendent on how we open or what the fall looks like. We have been using AFT National's guide on reopening schools and communities safely as our kind of document to ground us in what's going to be good for Nashua. Now, I'm not saying that document's perfect. I don't think any document or plan anywhere else is perfect. But what is nice about seeing all the other plans is cherry picking, if you will, what's going to work best for us in Nashua. I know a lot of people are concerned about going back without the proper safety protocols and equipment in place. And I know a lot of people are concerned that if we're out, that we won't have the proper technology and devices to reach our kids. And I get that. As a parent, I'm concerned. As a teacher, I'm concerned. As president of the union, I'm concerned about what's happening in how we safely reopen and make sure that everyone has what they need to do that. And we will advocate to make sure that when a plan is in place, that the safety and well-being are the first thing that are addressed for our staff and our students. We have many staff and students that have compromised immune systems that work in our district. We have many staff that have family that they care for on a regular basis, and that all needs to be addressed and acknowledged. We can't be putting people into situations that aren't safe. I don't care what they're saying nationally on news and whatever. If it's not safe to reopen schools because of this, then we shouldn't do that. We need to wait and see what the task force is going to recommend, and then we need to make decisions in this city that are best for the safety of our students and our teachers and our staff. And that has got to be the most important thing. We are looking at what we need to do contractually, whether it's an MOU or within the current contract settings of how to address some of these things. I think it's premature to engage in a writing of an MOU because we don't even know what next year is going to look like. I think we should have had these conversations earlier, but I can't go back and change that. So we're going to address what we can address as it happens today. And then as I have more information today or tomorrow, then we'll start addressing that. But we have been monitoring everything. I've been reading a lot of things from I think the American Association of Pediatrics, or I think I got the thing wrong. And I'm all for the social emotional piece of that. I get that. I support that 100%, but not if it's not safe for them to be in school. And I don't know right now what the best answer is. I don't have my magic wand anymore. I don't have the globe to look into to see the future. So we'll play this one step at a time. Please keep sending me your questions and your comments and things so I can keep track of them. I have a little folder that I have everything in. And as we get more information, we'll share that. And I feel like as if when we hit the end of July, that things will start rolling with more information and more updates. And as we have that, we will send that out through the board of directors, and I will um, be back here on Facebook Live. Maybe I'll wear costumes or something. I'm just reading the comment section about money, and I am greatly concerned about how much it's going to cost to do this correctly. Yeah, it's going to cost money. So either show us the money and do it correctly, or we're going to have to talk about something else. Whatever we do, whether it's remote learning again, whether it's a hybrid, whether it's full re-implementation in the buildings, it's still going to cost money because we need technology to replace some of the things we have. That's going to cost money. We need proper safety equipment and PPE. That's going to cost a lot of money. Even if we're back in normal school, that's going to cost more money. Our budget wasn't funded the way a lot of us felt it should be when we were in normal times, and now it's just going to cost more. And if we're not having the revenue in, then I don't know where and how we're going to afford to do any of this. And the other thing that we need to remember is that yes, there's a financial cost, but there's a human capital cost to all of this. When we return in whatever format we do, it's going to be a new type of stress on people. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to support each other in doing that. In what that looks like, I'm not sure yet because I don't know what it's going to look like in the fall. But there needs to be an acknowledgement that regardless of what we do, it's going to impact students, it's going to impact parents, and it's going to impact staff. And how that looks is all going to be different depending on your circumstances. And I think that is lost sometimes when we talk about reopening, that we're going to how much it's going to cost financially. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot financially, but the human cost is a lot, and I think is more important than the financial cost. But we always get stuck on the real money instead of the more important things. And I see a lot of questions about can we work from our rooms and the manipulatives for our younger kids. I don't know yet. I have a first grader going into second grade, and this is going to hurt coming out loud. I have a freshman starting in the fall. New school for the freshmen, but think about our little kids, our brand new kindergartners or new kids to our schools who had never been to first grade or coming to first grade that weren't in kindergarten, or our fifth graders going to sixth grade, or just those kids moving from one grade to the next. How do we address their needs without impacting the safety and health and well-being of people? And I don't have the answer to that. The more I talk, the more questions I come up with. So to those of us who will be unable to return to the building on the fall in any capacity, be getting letters to admin, how do they know they will work unless they know we can't? Okay, so that's a good question asked. So there are leaves under and accommodations under the Americans with Disabilities Act and under the FMLA rules. So if you know that for whatever reason you are unable to come back in the fall in any capacity, then I would suggest that you start working on your medical documentation now and start submitting that. Especially if it's regardless of how we come back in the fall. And if you have specific questions on your own circumstance, you can always reach out to me and we can talk about it so I can give you some better direction than just making general comments on this. So of course, if you have questions on your own personal situations and you would like some guidance, I'm happy to listen and help and get you answers if those would be helpful to you. So I am sending an email through the board of directors when I'm done with this video that is relatively long. About an update. So I apologize for the length of that. So if you have specific questions, please feel free to contact me. Yes, FMLA would be an option for you under these circumstances. There are other types of leaves in our contract under Article 6 in the teacher's contract. It's just a matter of whether or not you could be paid or not, depending on what type of leave it is. So lots of moving variables that vary person to person. There's a question if there'll be a survey sent to parents and staff about whether they intend to come back. I don't know that. That's a good question. I can bring that up on Tuesday. It would be helpful. I don't know if that kind of question is answered in the survey that was sent out already or not. I don't remember the question specifically, but that's something I can bring up. Yeah, we'll definitely have to look at if we can modify the retirement in severance language because this is uncharted territory. In the past, I know that there have been exceptions made for people that submitted letters late because they were all of those exceptions were related to medical reasons. So I feel that we do have some precedent there, but I would feel better if the district and I could come up with some sort of MOU about that to address those concerns ahead of time so we're not dealing with that. There is a special group with special ed. Sorry, I just used special and special twice. One of the subgroups is special ed, and I think there's like 12,000 people on that committee. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there were a lot of people on that were interested. So I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I hope that come Monday night after that special board meeting, I'll have more information and some more specifics for you. At least an idea, get off the table, please, of my kids are, causing a ruckus because of course they haven't talked to me all morning, but now that I'm on Facebook Live, they need my attention. So I hope to have more information next week. I am going to start keeping updates, I think, more frequently now that we have more information starting to flow. So if you have questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out. I hope you're relaxing and enjoying some of the summer and recharging. I know there's a lot of anxiety about what's going to happen and what things are going to look like in the fall. I'm right there with you. But I hope you are taking some time to enjoy the weather and some time with your family to recharge. All right, everyone, have a great day. More updates as we have them in the coming days.